at the end of Pausanias by Nepos. 4.4 Idiqui. And so, to this informant, Indikai, what they wanted to happen, they praecaperanted, they instructed him. Looks like we'll start another sentence. A statement. There's a shrine of Neptune, there is, at this place, Tyrannus, which the Greeks think is nefas, to violate. It's criminally actionable against the gods, basically. Ili index. So this index from up here, this informant, he configured there. So he fled there to this place and he sat down on the altar, the ara. Yuxtahang, next to this female, next to this altar, they made a locum, they made a place underground from where it is possible to hear that if someone speaks something with this Argelian index. Okay, so it's another statement. So to this place, certain people from these E4s descended. So they descended into this underground location. 5. Pausanias, as he heard the Argelium had fled into this altar, he was perturbed and he veneted Io, and he went there. Quam, whom, when supplicating, in a supplication of the god, he saw it. So Pausanias saw this index, this Argelium, supplicating of the god, and here he is in that position. He's also sitting on the altar. Pausanias queried. He asked, what of the cause was there of such a plan so sudden? What was the cause of him going here with such a sudden? What was the sudden plan that made him go here? Ili, the index, it's probably dative. He said to him, what from the letters he had what he had learned, he apparated. So he made open. So he made open this little clause, what was contained in the letter that he discovered. Pausanias, now, we'll take Modo as now, he was more perturbed, and he copiated. He began to infinitive, he began to orare, to pray. Looks like a command that he should not announce or betray such a great fellow as himself, neither did he deserve so, meritum so. But if he would give to him veniam, if he would give him a pardon, which probably means if he would do him a favour, and would help, sublieve, if it means help the person who is implicated or tied up in such dire straits or such circumstances, there would be a magno premium to him in future. There'd be a great reward for him in the future. 5. His rebus cognitus. With these matters known, the E4s were thinking it would be satious, it would be better, to comprehend him, to apprehend him in the city, not in the shrine. Profecti sense, so when they had set out, and Pausanias, with the Achilles placated, or however is it finished, as he was thinking, he was reverting to Lacedaemon, back to the city. He was going back to the city itself. Something happened on the journey when already he was in that bit where he'd be apprehended. So it comes right now in time to where he's being apprehended. From the vultus, from the look or the face of a certain E4 who was desiring to admonish him, to warn him, he intellected, he understood that there were to be some insidious for him. There was some sort of trap set for him. 2. Idiqui again. And so, porcus antigradibus, a few steps ahead, antiquam, before them, those who were following, you can see it's plural from the NT, so a few steps ahead of those which were following him, into the temple of Minerva, which they call Chalikoikis or something, it's a very Greek looking word, he configured it there, configured with the N. Hink, from here, so that he would not be able to exere, to go out, immediately startim, the E4s, the valves of the temple, the double doors of valves, they obstructed. So they extracted the doors of the, and they demolished the tectum, the roof. Blocked the doors, got rid of the roof. Calerius is a comparative with quo, so it means ut, so that more quicker he could interiate, so he could die under the sky or exposed to the sky. 3. Dicator, it is said, eo tempore, in that time, because you don't use nunc in a rota oblique, whatever, you always use eo tempore. It is said in that time the mother of Pausanias was living, Vixissi, and now, in a great age, magno natu, so she's getting old, after she had comparated, discovered or learned of the crime of her son, she was in the first lot to close off, I've got add and add again, to close off her son at the entrance of the temple to a tulisi to carry the lapidai, the stone. She was in the first group to carry a stone to close off the entrance of the temple and shut her son in. He, when he was semi-alive, semi with a soul, he was elatus esset. They had lifted him from the temple and confessed him immediately. He flavoured it. He breathed his, I guess that's his last breath, maybe. Sic Pausanias. Thus Pausanias, stained with a foul death, the great glory of war, or the glories he'd earned in war. His corpus of him, blah blah, non nulla say. So some people say it ought to be inferred or brought in when it was dead to the place where those who are given punishment ought to go. Okay, so there's a certain place cut off for the criminals where the bodies ought to go when they're dead. But this was displeasing to many people, and far from the place where he was, they inferred it means dug. So they dug a place for his burial, far from that place where mortis erat, from the place where he died. So they took him from where he died and moved him procol. Then, or next, later on, the response of the Delphic oracle, the Delphic god, he was erutus. He was dug out and sepultus es and buried in the same location where he'd placed down his life or ended his life. And now Lysander. Lysander Lacedaemonius. So he was a Lacedaemonian, a Spartan. He left a great fame or reputation, part more by felicity or good luck than by virtue. For the Athenians, against the Peloponnese, being guaranteeing, conducting a war for 6 and 20 years. It's 26 years. It's apparent that he confeccusit, that he completed this, completed the Athenian rule, basically. This, by which reasoning it follows, this is how he did it, it's not latent, it's not laying hidden. 2. For it was not by the virtues or valour of his army, or their army, the Athenians, but factum est, it was done by the immodesty of the adversaries. So they're means they can't control themselves, basically. So what in the saying by their generals, the imperators, audienting, so they were non-errant. They were not listening to what was said by their generals. They dispalatai, they strayed about in the fields, having left their ships, and they veneranted into the power of the enemy. There's the in with potestem, there's a bit of a spread there. Quo facto, by this fact, they went straying around, the Athenians surrendered themselves to the Lacedaemonians. 3. In this victory, Lysander was elated, lifted up, when before, always he'd been factiosus, usually given over to factions or sides, and audax, bold. So sic ut qualities. So he indulged himself. Indulged takes the dative, and so that they reached into the Macedonians this great, by his work, basically by his actions of Lysander, a great hate of the Greeks came against the Macedonians. So I might as well make a daily dictionary. What have I been looking up there? Factiosus. Yep. Factious, seditious, turbulent. Oh, well, it might be turbulent, what this is on about. He'd been a bit of a turbulent and bold sort of spirit.